So we Whisper, hope to draw into some spells. We can go up from a low base. Sylvan Caryatid isn't going to cut it. Pitch it. What do we draw? Serum Visions, we can keep going. So we'll Serum. Float blue, probably. Discard land. Glitwish and Sleight of Hand are both perfectly fine. We'll Sleight of Hand first. Float. Float. I think since we're all in now, I'm going to pitch a Swan Song. We're going to take the Glittering Wish over the Flooded Strand, of course. I don't know exactly what I want to get with the Glittering Wish just yet. Might just want to get the Draw 2 spell. Now let's Sleight of Hand one more time. Let's float a blue. Could float a red. Don't need a Plains. Let's take the Fate Stitcher over the Lumbering Falls. Let's take the Draw 2 spell. I feel like we're starting to get really low on resources. So I'm going to Glitter Wish, guys, for our Draw 2 spell. Float blue. We're going to discard Stitcher. Say yes. Let's get the Scarscale Ritual. Scarscale's pretty good here. Let's bring back Stitcher first. Stitcher will also, you know, start getting us towards the win condition that we're headed for. We'll spend that red mana. Put it on a Caryatid. We're going to float white, red, untap. Because I am aiming for a second Ascendancy. We're going to pitch the Swan Song. We're going to draw 2 cards. Double Glittering Wish. Okay. I can get the Scarscale Ritual back. Is that what we're supposed to do? Probably just wish for an Ascendancy, actually. I think we're ready for second Ascendancy. I could be wrong. I think we're ready for it. We got 3 tappers. So white, untap Howl Fountain, discard Misty. Now here, you know, there are a couple cards you could get. You could get the, you know, maybe we think we're just going to kill with the Caryatid. Since I have another Glittering Wish in hand, it's okay to think about things like Jeskai Ascendancy. It's okay to think about things like Reborn Hope, get back Scarscale. Actually, I'm just going to get the Reborn Hope. You guys don't see it on cam enough. We're going to get back the... and again, this could also be a Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to get back the Scarscale. I'm going to get back the Scarscale. Cerulean, Glittering, Gitaxian. I haven't seen his hand yet. I actually would be interested in Gitaxian probing this guy at some point. Just to kind of see what that last card is. I think it is just another, what, Primal Command or whatever he tutored with the Primal Command. Put it on the same Caryatid. This time we'll use up the white mana. And you're just kind of going, we're firing at all cylinders now, guys. This is turn 5, but this was through some disruption, too. You know, maybe you start tapping down his blockers at some point. There's a bird, a couple of witnesses. Revival gets back the Ascendancy, but it's negative card advantage, so I'm going to pitch it. All right, there's the Whispers of the Muse, and now we're off to the races. So let's buy this back. And not that we needed it, guys. You know, rewarded for opponent's greed. Not that we needed it. We actually didn't necessarily need the buyback spell, the second copy of Whispers of the Muse, but now you guys see why I kind of like having 2, because you can just spend the first one as we did to start comboing off as just blue draw, but now we've got the buyback going, and now he knows he's kind of toast. I mean, we can make so much mana. I can make so much mana. Untap, untap. And now I'm just going off as quickly as I can, trying to make as few mistakes as possible, but of course you care about the clock. Let's get Taxian Probe to get the information. I am curious what his last card is that made him want to make the play that he did. Aren't you guys a little curious too? I'm a little curious. Probably don't need the Crimson Wisp at this point. We got all the creatures we really need. It's a Courser of Crufix. I'm over halfway to getting this in paper now. I can't wait to surprise people with this. Loose Left Cave is a really fun deck. Again, guys, anytime you have enough mana to flashback, or excuse me, not flashback, to buy back the Whispers, do it. Just do it. Look at that. Just do it. Don't think about it. It's really simple. Just, there's a Wind Xenocon. That's a fine card, too. Probably don't need the Serum Visions, or actually, I didn't need the Peak more. You know, you're able to do that. We don't need this Caryatid because we binned the Crimson Wisp. That's one of the only ways to main deck, make Caryatid usable in the turn that you're comboing. So let's go ahead and, this is not newly owned. This will give me a blue mana source that fast taps. Everything else in play takes a little bit longer for me to fast tap. You know, other than this basic island, see the Stitchers take a lot of work, but Caryatid being animated is great. Or excuse me, Wind Zendikon hitting the board is great. Gives us another beater. Actually, he's almost dead to the Caryatid, but I think if I just tap down his dudes, he's dead as well. So let's do that. So we're going to buy back one last time. It's the last game action I think I'm going to take as far as what the Ascendancy is concerned with. And we're going to tap down his dudes. So, tap. I may have to cast one more spell, actually. Float, 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 float. Say yes. Said I didn't need the Caryatid. You don't need to land more, though. We do need to do one more spell. I don't know. Anything like a sleight of hand is fine. Just one more spell just to untap the team. Say yes. Bin. Now, this was all off of one Ascendancy, right? Wish for Fire Spout for the Rubbins. How do you keep of Power, Toughness, and Paper, says Clue? Dice. I would suggest dice. The deck, you could put a dice on top of the Ascendancy, but then again, if you have creatures joining the Ascendancy after the Ascendancy, I only play this on Magic Online, so I actually don't have great advice for that. That's a good question. If you're going to play it in paper, you're going to need a lot of dice. We do need to play one more spell because I was going to tap down the bird. Do you guys want to see the Wishboard kill? We might as well because I got big enough on the Caryatid, didn't I? Let's just do it. Why not? Let's just do it. You guys want to see it? It's kind of neat. He'll likely scoop to it, but say yes. This is also how you kill them post-board if they're like an Ensnaring Bridge deck, like Top Control. This lets you also kill with a Caryatid. Let's say we didn't have, let's say you didn't have, so we're going to cast, obviously you want to cast the blood side, not the flesh side, so blood this Caryatid, target my opponent. I mean, tap for red. We didn't actually, I decided at the end there not to kill with the damage, but that's okay. Float, 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 untap. Don't need that. And he's dead. So the deck has a lot of different ways to get there. It might seem like the only way you can get there was damage, but the flesh blood. We still had plenty of cards left in the deck, guys. We had a full hand, full grip at the end there. 16 cards left. Why are you going to play fair decks in Modern and get smashed by Eldrazi when you could play this? You know, why are you going to all the dice you have? I own like 50 tiny dice in a box. Where can we grab the list again? Talaric, I can give you a fresh screenshot, hot off the press, man. It's a really fun deck. You don't have to play it with Misty Rainforest. If all you've got is the new duels, the reprinted duels, the reprinted fetch lands, instead of the Zendikar Misties, you know, if all you got is Windsweeps and Floodeds, more power to you. Just cut the Misties. Run what you got. I think that Basic Plains and Basic Island are what is best. The deck seems to be comprised of mostly blue, quickly followed by white. The green and the red are the kind of the splash. So check it out. No, I'm not running the Think Twice anymore. Nope. Think Twice got cut. We're running nothing but 2 Whispers, 3 Peaks is the filler now. Playset of Visions, playset of Wisps, playset of Gataxian Probe, playset of Slight is where I suggest you start your deck. So, you know, if you're trying to build this yourself, you don't necessarily need the Idyllic Tutor. I do recommend the playset of Glittering Wish. This was given to us. This was a very generous gift. Thank you for that. You guys are always spoiling me. I run 2 Lumbering Falls now, just 2, but it gives you 6 hexproof creatures to go off with against your Terminate or Lightning Bolt compatriots. People that are still trying to jam these spells that just aren't that good. No offense. I think the Grixis deck is really neat. It's just you're going to go up against Eldrazi and you're going to get smashed. You're going to just die. Why not play something that's faster, that's hard for them? They have a hard time interacting with us, especially after we board into the ley lines. Their primary form of interaction, the black-white or just plain black Eldrazi decks, is Leyline. Drew the Druid. Welcome to the Abram Special. Hope you're enjoying your stay. So, cards that are not in question, I'll show you my list and tell you where I think you should start. So, cards that are not in question, things you must run. This is where I think you should start. You can run a Birds version, depends on your local metagame. If your local metagame doesn't have that many bolts flying around or many Terminates, go for it. Play as many Birds of Paradise as you want. I just don't prefer it because every time I play it on Magic Online, it just dies. It dies a horrible, horrible death. So if you're not going to run the one of Idyllic Tutor, I don't know if you should run the Zendikon. I do recommend this, and I recommend the playset of Wisps, and I recommend the playset of Gitaxian Probe. So this package here, you know, this isn't in question. This 31, I think, is where you should start with. Now, you can start to have some fun. This is where I start to have a little fun. The one of Wind Zendikon, the one of Idyllic Tutor, the one of Crimson, Surgical, 2 Noxious, 2 Whispers, 3 Peaks. This is kind of the other filler. So, moving on. So, you know, these are the cantrips I recommend, and this is the meat I recommend, you know. So I wouldn't build this deck without this 16, just solid cantrips, really important for the deck. You play Zerprism, nice. Yes, the Eldrazi makes me super sad, says Corthian. I just don't think you should be playing fair decks right now. I'm sorry, guys. I think that the time of playing fair decks in Modern has come to an end. I just think it's come to an end. Maybe when people stop jamming that deck so much, I'll be in line to play a more fair list. But until that day comes, I just want to play something degenerate that beats that deck before they can get anything going. What's the purpose of Wisps? Wisps is fantastic. Wisps is actually the best cantrip in the deck. What's up, Dan? Does Nightfall count as fair? It's too fair. It's too fair. It's too fair. It's too fair. Right, so Wisps is going to untap the Keratin. You actually net mana because you get a Jeskai Ascendancy trigger. It also nets mana on any of our creatures. A Wind Zendikon, a Face Stitcher. This is like Manamorphose for us. This thing's amazing. You play the playset. It's interesting that Twin leaving means less counterspells to the format, which makes a hole for combo decks. Twin, which is keeping in check, says Sporks. Can you play Nightfall afterwards? I love to watch that deck. Ad Nauseam seems very well positioned now, says Witch. I'll see you, Jufro. Have a good one. Why is the Modern Eldrazi deck so good, says Zombie Cat. Also, Jeskai Burn deck that beats Mantis Rider. Runs Mantis. Interesting. That's a great question, Zombie Cat. So it's pretty much just the Tron decks of the format are just so good against the fair decks. You pretty much have to play a combo if you want to win that matchup. If you don't mind losing those matchups, the Tron and the Eldrazi matchup, play fair decks. Play fair decks all day. That's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong. And if you already own a fair deck, don't go out and buy a combo deck because you're losing. Keep playing your deck. I'm not trying to make you sell your decks, guys. That's not what I'm here to do. If you love playing fair decks, play it. I'm just telling you, you have a bad matchup against 2 decks that are really desirable to play right now. Twin is gone. Twin's gone. The best decks, according to the pros, according to people analyzing the metagame, are the Black-White Eldrazi and Tron. Be very afraid if you're playing fair decks to go up against those types of strategies. What I recommend to you if you haven't bought into Modern yet is play something degenerate. Play something like Nightfall. Play something like Ascendancy. Play Storm. Play Ad Nauseam. You know, play Living End. Play something degenerate. Don't let yourself get Troned or Eldrazi to death. You won't have a fun time. I played Nightfall the other day, and we didn't have the combo, and we got Eldrazi'd. It was not fun. I didn't want to play Modern for the rest of the stream. We played Legacy instead. Air Dragon says almost 200 people. Congrats. That's cool. Yeah, Living End is awesome, Rosen. More love for Living End. It's actually a really neat deck. It actually has some of the best cantripping just due to the cycling that Modern has available to it right now. It just draws through itself. This deck draws through itself. Look how many cantrips we run. Look how many cantrips we're running. Look at this. I'm running 22. We run 22 cantrips. We run 5 tutors. You know? The deck is very lean. I've been working on this for a long time now. With your help and my playtesting, we'll make this deck a really awesome archetype for Modern and the new Modern to come in the next few weeks and months. You'd like to see some stream restore balance. Oh baby, I already built it. Of course I have that deck. Of course! Where else do you get to play weird cards like Ricochet Trap, man? Of course I have that deck built. Do I recommend this deck? No. This deck's game plan's too fair. It doesn't seem like a very fair deck, but it's pretty fair. Now, granted, this could really give Eldrazi and Tron a headache, potentially, but Thank you so much for the follow, Gunner. Welcome to the Abrams Special. Really appreciate it, man. So it's got Shriek Moths, Greater Gargadons, Ardent Pleas, Demonic Dreads. This is a different variant. I also built a